or they'll contact you.
Back here.
Thank you. So when Newport logs on, they'll just join us. I'm glad I'm getting ready to practice. And food. All right, so this morning we're going to start with time and temperature. Y'all can see what I'm writing, right?
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning. The microphone's muted.
Thank you for doing this.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave, but they know where I'm at.
Okay.
All right,
Appreciate
no problem. They know where I'm at.
it.
Thank you. No problem. Have a good day. You too.
Okay, I can only see one of y'all. Where's the other one sitting?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. They just evidently moved the camera. But hey, you're okay. I see you. You're good where you were sitting. As long as you can see me, Right. So we're going to look at time and temperature today. It's another conversion. It's different, a different type. Time is essential part of the drug order. Time is usually, well, always in what they call international time. International time is the same thing that we all know as military time. I probably spelled military wrong. That's okay. It's a 24-hour clock time. Way that we know it by. So international time, you'll see it on the questions below. 4-hour clock time or as international. Okay, I don't refer to it as military time. Now, as I say, every math teacher anywhere, when they get ready to draw, I'm not an artist. That's a pretty decent for me. All right. So when we start, we always start, or generally start at 12 o'clock. Okay. I gotta put my times in here. I have to do my quarters first. Then I can do. If I don't space them out right. Okay. So this is time. Okay. We can start at midnight and go 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., all the way around, and we'll get to noon. We start over with our PMs. Yes, that's traditional. That's what we have been doing most of all our lives. Now, if you've ever worked in a place that you've had to do your time sheet and they want it in military time, you're familiar with it. Midnight, where you're working is 2400, or it's written as 000. Okay. And then 1 a.m. is written as 100. The a.m. everything less than 12. Or 12 and less. 200 is 0200. 3 a.m. is 0300. 4 a.m. is 0400. Leading over something. 5 a.m. is 0500. 6, get the idea, 0600, 0700. So 800, oh, 900. When we get to 10 o'clock, it's just 1000. Okay, so 4 digits. 11 o'clock is 1100. 12 o'clock is 1200. That takes us to noon. Then PM, we're going to add 12 to everything. So we're just adding 12 to one, and I get 1300. So I'm going to add 12 to 0200, and I get 1400. And these are all my PM hours because it's greater than 12. Well, 12 is actually PM. 3 is 15. 4 is 16. 1700. You guys get the idea, I hope. 8 PM, 9 is 2100. 10 is 2200. 11 is 2300. And then again, midnight is either 2400 or 000, depending on where you are. One time I was told one hospital did 000 for midnight, one hospital did 2400 for midnight. The only time you're going to use exactly 2400 or exactly 000 is right at midnight. If it's 1 minute past midnight, say it's 12:01 a.m., you don't use 24. You're going to use 0001. And that's 1 minute after midnight. If it's 11:59 p.m., 1 minute before midnight, it's 23:59. So the only time you're actually going to use midnight or use the 2400 is right at midnight. It doesn't carry on into the AMs. Once you go past midnight, then it becomes the zeros. It's always written without a colon, without the AM or PM. So it's always written, the first 2 digits are hours, the second 2 digits are minutes. Okay. If I wanted to write, let's see, what time is it? And my watch died. 10:14 a.m. That's our time right now. So 10:14 a.m. would be written as 10:14 because it's 10:14 now. 10:14 hours. That doesn't sound right, but that's the way it is. Put the AM, PM, don't put the color. What's a good, another good one? I want to change 22 p.m. Okay. I've got to add 12 to my 4. So 4 and 12 is 16, 1600, 1620, or 1622 hours. I think when the minutes are there, they don't add the 100. I don't know. I'm going to have another lesson in military time. I've got enough family that's in the military or been in the military. All right, so sometimes we have military time and we have to go back to regular time because maybe a patient or a parent of a patient is wanting to know, okay, the doctor says we're going to give the medicine, or you're going to give the medicine to the patient at 20:30. Okay, so what time is that in regular time? It's greater than 12, so I know that I want to subtract 12 to go back to regular time. You add 12 to go to military time or international time, you subtract 12 to regular time. So then you'll get my 30 minutes. That doesn't change. If I subtract 12 from 20, I get 8. I have to add a 0 in front of it. So it's 0830. Okay. So to change to international time. For the PM time, We add 12 to the hour. And then to change to traditional time. You have a question? And again, this is for PM. AM doesn't really change. We don't have to add or subtract. We're going to subtract 12 hours. Or subtract 12 from the hour. I have 21:30. I want to know what time is it in traditional time. I convert it to traditional time. I'm going to subtract again just the 12 from the 21. 11 minus 2, that's 9. 0. So 0, 9:30. Practice for you, right? 8:01 p.m. in international time.
She just went back to her office. Did you get 20:01? Okay, remember, no colon, no AM, PM. All right, just the 4 digits. Now, later on, we'll have to, how long maybe an IV is ran or how long it's been since the patient was seen in the ER. There's all kinds of reasons that you have to determine how to get the amount of time. So the patient arrived somewhere at 23, and then they left at 23:28. Maybe they arrived at the ER at 20:16 and they left the ER at 03:28. How long were they in the ER? Okay. Now, just think about my little mathematical mind. Sometimes it doesn't cooperate. So I have to do this longhand. If I'm going from PM one day to AM the next day, I have to count. And I know this is PM because it's greater than 12. This is AM because it's less than 12. So I'm going to start 23:16. That's when I arrived. Then I've got 24:16, so I've been there 1 hour. That's midnight. So then I'm going to go to 01:16 because that'd be 1 a.m. So that's 2 hours I've been there. 02:16, that's 3 hours I've been there. Now I can go to 03:16, right? Because 16 is less than 28. So 03:16, I've been there 4 hours. Now, how long is it from 03:16 to 03:28? I mean, I can count. Since 28 is greater than 16, I can take 28, subtract 16 to get my number of minutes. And I've been there 4 hours and 12 minutes. That's the easiest way I know to do when I'm going from AM to PM, from PM to AM. Okay. Now, if I'm going from 09:35 to 21:50, I'm going from AM to PM. That's all in the same day. So I can subtract. Be careful though with my minutes. I can subtract my time. But remember, there's only 60 minutes in an hour, right? But this is okay. I do 35 from 50. As long as my top number is smaller than my, or larger than my bottom number, it's okay. I still have to borrow. So from 35 to 50 is 50 minutes. So from 09:35 to 21:50 is 12 hours, 15 minutes. What if I'm going from 01:30 to 22:12? Okay. From 1 a.m. to p.m. I have 22:12, 01:30. This time, my starting number is smaller than my ending number. Okay, so I can't really subtract that. Not the normal way. Because I would be subtracting 1 from hundreds. Line of blank and one coming. I know from 12:30 is 13 minutes. But here's what I have to do. This makes it easier. I'm going back from 22:12 to 21:72. I'm subtracting an hour from my hour. When I subtract an hour, I'm going to add 60 minutes. I'm borrowing an hour and giving it to my minutes. So my end time is 21 hours and 72 minutes. If I subtract 60 minutes from this, I give it back to my hours, and my time would be fine. So now I can subtract. So I get 2, so minus 3 is 40. So I get 20 hours and 42 minutes. If we were to count that up, that's the time it would be. If you're one of those people that's like I am, I've got to go, okay, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. That's 10 hours. 12:30, 1:30, or 12:30, 13:30, 14:30, 15:30, 16:30, 17:30, 18:30, 19:30, 20:30, 21:30, but I can't go to 22:30. Well, that's 20 hours. So I'm at 21:30. I need to go to 22:12. So from 21:30, 22:12, I'm going to go from 30. I start 30 minutes, I go to 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 10 minutes. Better? Okay, thank you. So I go from my 30 minutes to 10, to 40, 50, the hour, 10 minutes, and then 12 minutes. So I have 10 here, 10 here, there's another 10, another 10, and then the last one is 2. 10, 20, 30, 42 minutes. All right. And that just went right over a lot of your heads. Sometimes it's easier to count your minutes than it is to add. Okay. I don't know how to make that any better, any easier. Look at this. I mean, right now, just know that how to convert from and we might do some simple ones, but how to write, or what, 21:30 is what time in the traditional time, 12-hour clock time. That's the key, not necessarily the counting or the just difference. So I'm going to subtract 12 from the 21, right? All this following. So I've got 09, because I'm going to 12-hour. It's 9:30. Is it AM or PM?
AM.
PM. We started with 21, right? That's greater than 9, I mean greater than 12, so it's PM. When if I'm subtracting 12 or adding 12, it's going to PM.
If it's over 12.
Let's convert a couple more before because I've got y'all confused now. 0421, I'm going to go to 12-hour clock time. Okay, a traditional clock time. So what is 0421 in traditional clock time? 4:21 a.m. So 4:21 a.m. What would be 16:54? Okay. It's greater than 12, right? You're going to subtract 12.
4:54 AM.
You say 4:54?
AM, yes.
Okay, it's actually PM. Good guess. The 4:54 is right. If it's greater than 12,
Oh, it's over 12. Ooh.
13:32. It's greater than 12, right? So it has to be PM. 1:32. The more you do these, the easier they get. What about 0009? 12:09 a.m. because it's less than 1. Okay, let's go right the reverse. What if I wanted 3:45 a.m.? How would I write it as traditional time or standard international time? What way? 0345. Yeah, because it's a.m. I don't have to add the 12 to it, right? When I taught high school, my favorite time was 3:05 p.m. because that's when I got rid of my kids. That last group of the day was the pain in my existence. They were basketball girls. So what would this time be in international time?
15:05.
15:05, because I'm going to add 12, right? Because it's PM, so 15:05. Whoops. Add 12 and I write 12. So 15:05. Here's another good time. So my last class starts 1:30 p.m. So how would I write that as international time? 13:30. Good. I think y'all gonna handle this now, as long as I don't make you give me the how much time is between you. All right. So now we're going to move on to temperature. It's converting between Celsius and Fahrenheit. when you go into the hospital, I mean, they may take your temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, but they will record it in degrees Celsius. And I don't know what they actually do on the floor, if they take it in degrees Celsius or not. But if you're going to record it, it's going to be taken in degrees Fahrenheit. And I've got a Celsius thermometer and I've got a Fahrenheit thermometer. 0 degrees Celsius is the same thing as 32 degrees Fahrenheit. They're both freezing. That's our freezing point. 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of water. They're 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 112 degrees difference. So between 32 and 212 is 180 on the Fahrenheit scale. 100 is the difference on the Celsius scale. Okay, so Celsius scale is based on tens, just like everything else in the metric, it's based on tens. But to get the difference, we look at the 32, that's where the formula is based at. So if I'm converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit, so I'm looking for my Fahrenheit, it's 1.8 times whatever my degree is Celsius plus the 32. Then if I've got my Fahrenheit, but I want my degrees Celsius, so I'm going from Celsius or Fahrenheit, it's my Fahrenheit minus the 32, because again, that 32 is the difference in freezing, divided by 1.8. Okay. The 1.8 is the same thing as the 9/5 we use in physical science. 9/5 is 1.8 when you take it down to the decimal. So that's the reason we're doing this. And, you know, to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius, it's 9/5 times Celsius plus 32. To go to degrees Celsius, it's 5/9 times Fahrenheit minus 32. I can never remember the fractions, but I can remember the 1.8. So they do it a little bit, to me, it makes it easier. All right, so if we're going to convert, all right, so normal temperature on most everybody is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, what is normal for degrees Celsius? All right, so I'm looking for my degrees Celsius. So I'm going to use the Fahrenheit minus the 32 divided by 1.8. I had a college professor when I was in grad school. He called these plug and chug. You know what your Fahrenheit temperature is? You put it in and just do the math. So I'm going to do 98.6 minus 32 divided by 1.8. This is where we get the calculator. So on this test, this next test, you can use calculator. Oh man. So 98.6 minus 32 is 66.6 divided by 1.8. And I get 37 degrees Celsius. So 37 degrees Celsius is normal body temperature. What's the temperature you have to run if they say you've COVID, if you've got COVID? Is it 100 or 101 or 100.7? 100.4. So what is 100.4 in degrees Celsius? Okay. If you got your phones, got calculators, you can use the calculator on your phone. So what did y'all get? I'm still working.
38.
So for Celsius, it's just 1 degree above normal, right?
Mhm.
And that might be how they came up with 100.4, is that it's 1 degree below normal. Because everything at the CDC, everything worldwide at the United States is in Celsius, as far as temperature goes. I know normally it's not, a lot of people will run 100-degree temp. Sometimes when I'm overly tired, I've done it since I was a child, I'll run 100.4, 100.8, but I won't go up to 101. And that's, because I'm extremely tired, my body's run down. But I don't want to do another Fahrenheit. What if you're running on Celsius? What if you're running 39.6 degrees Celsius? Okay. We know it's going to be greater than 100, right? Because our 38 was 100. But how much greater than 100? We'll use our Celsius formula, which is 1.8 times degrees Celsius plus 32. I'm going to Fahrenheit. So 1.8 times 39.6 plus 32. And with temperature, you always round it to the tenths place. I got 103.3. And that's at 39.6. So what do y'all think about temperature? If you're given the formula, temperatures. Okay. Temperature formulas is one thing I normally give you. Okay. I don't give you the conversions, but I'll generally give you the formulas, especially the temperature formula. And there's a couple other formulas that I'll give you. Okay. So questions? You guys should have done more today. Get out of this line. Share a different screen. Okay, ladies at Newport, can y'all see the Canvas screen?
We see your initials.
See, okay. Let me see if I can fix that. Now, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, what I've got, and this is in both courses, this is week 5, right? Don't forget your basic math test is due today. Due today. On that for a minute.
I have a question.
There's no lock date on it. So if you're late on it, say you don't get done till 1 o'clock in the morning, you're still okay. You can still turn it in. If you don't finish it, if something happens and you don't finish it till tomorrow, you're still okay. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question about like the grading on it, because I know that you're going to also be grading the papers that I submitted.
What I do is I take the papers that you submitted, and like say you missed number 5, and all you did was you got the right answer on your paper, but you typed it in wrong, so you get credit on it.
Okay, so like say, because I've already taken like the test, and I made 2 attempts. I made like an 85 out of a 130.
It could be too. Canvas is very tricky. If let me go back to the modules. If
I didn't know how much part of the text of the paper actually counted.
it just, if you got the, I don't want to add time, I can't get this to do what I want it to do. And I want to take the, not take it, but just kind of show you. So if I take it, if I start it, and let's see, 3/4 times 12 is going to be 1/9, right? Write that one, so I'm going to skip it.
Yes.
You get a space or something, I'll grade those three. I want y'all to see your grades if we're right. Great. I got that one right. I skipped that one, but if you have to work on your test paper, and even though you may have put a 0 because you didn't know what else to do, if you've got it worked and worked so far correctly, you'll get 2 or 3. Okay. Then, like this one, I put space, you still get full credit. But it counts it wrong, even though it's the right answer, but you got a space in there.
A lot of the questions I missed though, can you mess around with tablets on the tablet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it says to include the unit of measure.
Yeah, I forgot that. I'll have to write it. Is it? I guess my biggest question is it worth trying to take it again? Because I don't know.
If that's the only thing you miss, or the only thing you think you missed, then don't, because I won't count off that this time for the unit of measure. Now, since we've got over conversions, when we get into actually doing the dosage calculation, and it's you're entering a dose like 12 micrograms or 3 tablets, then I'll count off big time for it. But on this test, I'm not going to count off a whole lot, as long as you got the right answer otherwise. Okay, so if that's the only thing you think you missed, don't stress, don't sweat, unless you just got to have that 100. I know some people have just got to have that 100. So, and my husband has to have surgery in the morning, so I'm going to take my computer and grade tomorrow morning while I'm in the waiting area. So give me and you, yes, ma'am.
When I got to the last part where I had to submit, where I showed my work and work out the problems, it wouldn't let me scan or add a PDF file or anything, but I did email them immediately to you back.
I have them, so you're okay.
Okay.
As long as I would rather have them in the problem, but as long as you email them to me, I'm okay with that. Okay. All right, what I was going to look at, this is week 4, so we did the conversions, the chapter 3, we're in week 5. We did the time and temp. There is an assignment for time and temperature here. It's not hard. I don't think so. I want you to read, it's chapter 6, okay? I want you to read chapter 6 and do the discussion. It's equipment used, and we'll talk more about equipment as we're using it, but you need to know what's in here. And then I will probably move up chapter 7 or chapter 6, interpreting drug orders, in the medication order. These two, you probably need to bring to class on Thursday. Okay, so just while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to move these up here into 5, and I'm going to move them into the other class. The interpreting drug orders and the medication orders. Read chapter 6 and chapter 6, do the discussion. On the equipment used, it's a PDF. Just kind of read it before you do the discussion. It's got some information on it. Got some practice problems on it, but you're come right straight from your textbook. And then bring the 2 handouts, the ones that says print and bring to class, bring those to class on Thursday. Okay. Any other questions?
We did the equipment use and dosage measurement discussion.
Yes.
Okay, it says it's until the 24th.
Have I clicked on the wrong date? May have to get it. 11:30 p.m. Hang on a second. I think I was asleep this morning when I did this. Let's just check that out. So it should be open now, but be sure and read chapter 6. And read that handout before you do the discussion. You have to reply to 2 other posts on this discussion. Okay? Don't just reply, hey, I like what you said. I mean, you can like what they said all you want. Just give them some feedback. Okay? If you don't agree with it, or, be nice about it if you don't agree with what they said, but you can still, be tactful when you don't agree with something. But give some feedback of some kind. Maybe you need to reread certain sections. I think you may misunderstood or something. But okay. So everything clear? Everybody clear on what's supposed to happen? The equipment dosages, read chapter 6 and do it. And it doesn't have to be done before Thursday. Though it would be good if you did it before Thursday. But it doesn't have to be done before Thursday. Because it's still got an old ending goal. And be sure and print those worksheets around the class on Thursday. And I will see you all on Thursday. Yes, ma'am?
Can't hear anything over here in you.
It just keeps going in and out, so we're not.
Okay, so, all right, I got you. Let me stop sharing. All right. Once everybody gets out and leaves, I'll answer your questions. Now we got a lot of noise. Yeah, don't forget to sign the sign-in sheet if you haven't signed it. Okay, let's see if we can, see if y'all can hear me now. So what was your question?
We couldn't hear any of the directions of what to do.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Canvas screen. All right, so we're in September or week 5.
Okay.
Okay, so we did all this up here, time and temperature, and there's a homework assignment for you. And then there's a time and temperature discussion.
Okay.
I didn't realize I had a time and temperature discussion in there either, too, but I do. And it's not, yeah, okay. It doesn't have an end date, and it'll open today. So basically, you're doing all these assignments are in here, the 2 discussions, the conversions from household, and then you're going to print and bring to class these last 2 hours.
Okay.
Thursday. Does that make sense, or can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so we do both discussions,
Yes.
and we have to reply to how many people on each?
2 people.
2 people.
And then print the last 2 right the last Thursday. Okay.
I don't think the discussions are all that hard, but, and you get full credit for whatever your reply is,
Mhm.
as long as you reply to 2 others or comment on 2 others, so don't stress about the discussions.
Okay. Ms. Young, I do have a question about, well, I don't know if you'll be able to answer it for me. It was a problem on the test.
Okay. Which one?
Well, I don't know if it would be the same number. Did we all have the same kind of test or no, or?
No, they come up random numbers. You have the same type. You have same type of questions, but they could have different problems.
It was like 2.684 divided by 0.14.
Like number 12 here?
Yes.
Okay.
I got the answer, but I know that she said do not round, but as I kept doing like working the problem, it kept making me, I pretty much was going back over and started from the same number that I was already getting. So how did I stop? What is stopping? What is my stopping?
Okay, hang on a second. Let me work it. I throw out at least 4, maybe 5 numbers. Go out at least 4. And then just, round to that one. Even though it says to not round, I guess I didn't see that one just kept going.
Yeah, it definitely kept going.
Yeah, that happens sometimes and I miss it, so I apologize. If you get those and you just go out, 4 digits or so, and they're the right 4 digits and you've rounded appropriately, I generally give it to you. Okay. All right, so are there any other questions?
I think
Okay. You're welcome. I just don't want you all to feel like the redheaded stepchild. I wasn't the redheaded stepchild, but I was a stepchild, so I know how that feels. Well, have a good week, and I'll see you on Thursday.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Stop.
All right.